thelogbook.com here, back for more Voyages of Shelf Discovery. I have here my final Eaglemoss purchase. As I think I've said many a time on the show in the past, Eaglemoss is no more. The license for the official Star Trek Starships collection has now been inherited by Fanhome, which is, in my opinion, they are possibly misjudging the budget of the audience, but I've also gone on lengthy rants about how any Star Trek merch seems to be strictly in the realm of luxury items anymore. But this was my final Eaglemoss purchase from Master Replicas, while Master Replicas was clearing out the Eaglemoss warehouses under a license that permitted them to do so for around a year. And this was the last thing I got. It's Deep Space Nine. It's the station. It's not the XL version. This is the standard size version, so it's not something that takes up a huge footprint on one's desk. Now, it is interesting. I thought that the box bears the logos for both Star Trek Picard and the Star Trek Discovery logo from Season 3 onward. I'm assuming that this was a newer box printed up to house older stock. Pretty simple to get in there. Take out the styrofoam. And hey, there's the station right there. Not huge, but very detailed. I have no complaints about the level of detail on there. It's actually kind of impressive. Now, something I did notice right off is that this Eaglemoss models sometimes tend to be more plastic or resin than they are metal. And I'm sure that's a cost thing. I'm sure once you get into die-cast metal ships are just not the thing that they were back when I was a kid. Now, here's the thing that did surprise me. There's no stand. And I even went to the trouble of, pulling out the bottom of the styrofoam, looking for a stand. I kind of assumed there would be a stand. But not only is there not one, there is no place in the packing material for one. So it's literally just the station, and it's literally going to just sit on your desk. This one comes with a nice little magazine. I was kind of hoping to see if there was some hint in there about a stand. No. But, for those of you who want a nice little sort of thumbnail sketch of the station's place in Star Trek lore, this is a good place to find it. There's the Cisco. There we have plenty of photos of the interior sets, diagrams, because who doesn't want diagrams? And then there is also a part of the magazine devoted to the real-world decisions that went into the design of the station. All of that very nicely done. May not be, a lot of it probably isn't new, because I believe the making of DS9 was documented really exhaustively, as it was the first spin-off from the Next Generation. I remember there was a making of videotape, a VHS tape, hosted by Terry Farrell, no other. And there was at least one book on the subject of making Deep Space Nine. One authorized book. Once you got into like the James Van Hise stuff, then there were endless unauthorized books. I mean, But we won't talk about those. So there's the station. There's no stand. Find a flat surface, a place where it will not be bothered, and put it there. Try to catch some of the details under various lighting. Okay, maybe this is not the greatest lighting scheme, but it's very spacey, but it does pick out the detail very well. The level of detail on this is nice. Slightly better lighting there. Slightly. Just slightly. But it holds up to looking at it from all of the different angles that you would expect from the opening credits. There are no ships docked anywhere, but you know what? At this scale, they would be tiny. So I totally understand that decision. I imagine some enterprising soul with a 3D printer could probably come up with a Galaxy-class ship to dock at one of the pylons, but it's not necessary. The model and the level of detail stand up very well on their own. Really no complaints there. The XL version has a lot more of a footprint. It takes up quite a bit more space. But if you're like me and you don't have a huge amount of shelf space for these things to sit on, the non-XL version was fine. I have to be careful to put all of this in the past tense because all of the Eaglemoss models have now become an animal of the secondary market, eBay or worse. And that's just the reality for those who didn't get in on the master replicas sell-off while it was happening. So there you have it, Deep Space Nine in all of its tiny, tiny glory. Now I better find a good place to put this so it will be impervious to giant space cats.